don't have my tablet with me, but I'm hoping that the audio is good. Yesterday I was on live the new channel I have, and it was messing up. Something was messing me up. I'm not sure if it was the helicopter that flew by. I noticed that the signals really started messing up, and then right after that, a helicopter, a military helicopter, came flying by, and during that time it was messing up again, and then as it passed, it messed up again, and I pretty much cut the video after that. I couldn't tell while I was shooting the video, but I could tell after the video. Hi Renee, good morning, good morning, good morning. So yesterday, how's the sound? You're still sleeping? Yeah, I was up early this morning, sleeping in. Hey, it's Saturday. It's time to sleep in, right? Saturday. But so yesterday I did a video on the new channel, and I have a feeling like I've been experimenting, as you all know, about how, the shadow ban thing. And I've been kind of complaining on it on both channels. Hello, bad boy. Good morning, sir. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are, I'll catch it all. So I've been experimenting with YouTube analytics, and Sabizi in the last cool. Yeah, he sent me something that was so cool. It was actually a surprise. Daytime. Yeah, it's daytime here too, but it's still morning, I think. Coming up on 10 o'clock, I think, 10 a.m. He sent me, he took a picture off of my Facebook of me and my wife and Richard Keel, and he had it framed and sent it to me. Total shocker. And yesterday, if you go to -177, and I talk about finding Bigfoot and what happened to me on Finding Bigfoot, it wasn't cool what they did, and I never shared this really with anyone. I kind of waited until Finding Bigfoot was over and not a thing anymore. So I shared what happened to me on Finding Bigfoot on my Allen-177 channel. And I would go into it here, but I really go in depth about what happened to me, what they did to me. I think they almost killed me. At least it was close. I was ready to either hurt somebody and send them to the hospital, or else I was almost ready to go to the hospital. And Bobo saved me. Bobo is my hero forever for that. But if you want to see that, but he also, during that, my little niece came out, and she said she had a surprise for me, and she gave me a box that just got delivered, and it was a picture framed of me and my wife and Richard Keel. And he didn't even know this. He had no idea, but that was the last time. It was at Richard Keel's 70th birthday, and it was the last time that we spent real quality time with him, like got to sit and chat with him. Hey Rick, how's it going, man? Yeah, the TV people, they can suck, but you know what it is really is, we did it. The public is, if it isn't exciting, or hey Digger, what's up, man? If it isn't exciting, and I don't know what you call it, like exaggerated, then we won't watch. We tune them out. So every TV show, they embellish, they make it bigger than it is. They even lie in editing. They mix up the stories to where they think it sounds more what their audience would be looking for, you know. And a lot of times, what it does is it makes it where like I seem like I don't know what I'm talking about, or it mixes my story up. But on the other channel, I go into that in depth. If you want to hear what Finding Bigfoot did to me when I was working for them, I was actually working for them, and they pulled a really terrible thing on me, and it was pretty bad. I was pretty tore up from it. Oh yeah, Richard did it. Richard was a really good friend, and back to that now. I'm getting off track, and I do that. I get off track so easy. I don't, and I know I hate when people do this, but I'm not scripted, and there's nobody here, right? It's just me. But whatever, right? Whatever, people. That picture that BZ framed was Richard's 70th birthday party. And for a guy his size, like usually when they're ginormous, they don't live into their 70s. Usually they pass late 40s, early 50s, you know. I don't care if I get off track. I worry about you guys worrying about if I get off track, but like I want to talk about really what you guys want to talk about most of the time, and if I rather talk about that than. But it was a 70th birthday party. It was, yeah, and we usually get invited to his birthday parties. We don't make all of them, or we never made all of them, but that one was like a special one. It was like a milestone. He made it to 70 years old. It was only a few close friends and family. That's all. Just a little party in his backyard. He themed it luau, so everybody was wearing clothes like Hawaiian clothes, and all the drinks had little umbrellas, and it was a great time hanging out with him and his family, and it's a great memory. But I think he passed at 2 years later at 72, and I ran into him a few times and hung out with him a little bit here or there, but not like that last birthday party at 70 years old where he told me to get there a little bit early because he wanted to chat, and I got there about an hour early, and we sat there and chatted probably an hour and a half. People were showing up and everything, and they were all waiting to go and sit with them, but he was doing one-on-ones with everyone, which was kind of cool for everyone. And then he wanted pictures. He wanted everybody to take pictures, and that's what we all did. I mean, nobody was asking to take a picture with them. We have, if you're a good friend of Richard, you already have a lot of pictures over the, like for me, over the years, you know, from like 1982 till just a few years ago before he passed. I mean, I have lots of pictures, but that picture, he was wanting those pictures, and everyone took pictures with him, and then they shared the pictures to him so that he would have the pictures. So it was like a really special occasion. And for BZ to pick that picture out of all the pictures I share over the years of Richard and things, that one was like the most special one. My wife was saying, why couldn't it have had my mom in it too? Because we have one with her in it. It was me, my wife, and my mom. But absolutely, that's good enough for me and my wife and Richard. I mean, that's good enough, really. I mean, my mom has pictures with her and Richard at that party too. So everybody has pictures. It isn't like nobody had pictures of that night. We all did. One thing I am concerned about is my audio. I was having audio problems in the last live. I mean, it was terrible. So how am I sounding okay? Is everything all right? Hey, Hummingbird and Radulican. Redulican. I hope I said that right. West, yay. Okay, perfect on the sound quality, good. Because I got it, I put it up higher and put the wire down in my shirt because I think I use my hands, even though I don't have them showing up here where I'm using them, I move my hands and I think I was hitting the wire. But something else happened where, I mean, like when Jeff does his thing, he gets robot voice. Thank you. He gets robot voice. And it was kind of something like that, but it would be for 30 or 40 seconds and then it would quit all on its own. It was like something was jamming my signal from the transmitter of the wireless mic to the receiver of the wireless mic, and it can go 300 feet. There's no reason for it to lose signal at 2 feet. Or 1.5 feet or 2 feet, whatever it is, hardly even any distance at all. It shouldn't have any problems, but it was having problems yesterday. And I noticed my signal was going in and out on my Wi-Fi too. And I have like a gigabyte speed on the Wi-Fi. It should not be screwing up. I can't figure out why. So this time I'm closer to the Wi-Fi, less walls in between, and put the mic in my shirt. Yeah, I would say we're about to the end here, man. I think we're watching the end of the movie. And I'm watching the end of the movie. Or we are watching the end of the movie. I'm gonna be real surprised if there is an ELECTION, right? If that happens, I'll be really surprised. I'm trying not to say I'm trying not to say words that knock me out. Because I noticed when I started this new channel, Alan-177, and I kept on saying it wrong, it was like 777. Hi Adolf, you're driving? Where are you going? Oh, where are you going, man? I noticed that I started really hammering this thing about being shadow banned and stuff, and it looks like they kind of eased off on this channel because I do little things on this channel to see if anything happens, and they were slamming me hard even on the short videos. But I loaded a short video, just a clip off of a longer video, and it got like 500 views in an hour. Totally unheard of, right? That does not happen. Hey, Derek. If interested in learning about Islam. I'm not really interested in that. Maybe you guys are. I found Jesus. If you're real smart, you would find Jesus, man. That's the ticket. And there's another one of those keywords. See, I can say Islam and Allah, Buddha, but if you say Jesus, you immediately get slammed. Why is that? Why? Why does that name get you in trouble when all the other stuff doesn't get you in trouble? There has to be something to that, right? I mean, think about it for a minute. Any smart person would try to find out why, you know? But yeah, so today I wanted to try this out again. I wanted to do a chat with everyone, and I've been kind of going on the other channel more than this channel, trying to put some content on there so that this test of are they shadow banning me or not shadow banning me. And I could tell you they were shadow banning me, and maybe till today, because the other one with only 60, I think it has 66 subscribers, is almost 2,000 views on that one, on just a few videos. And I barely did it on this channel with a whole full month of videos. Maybe they're interesting, I don't know. Maybe I need to change up what I do. You know, I have no idea. Yeah, well, where I come from, he's the creator, he's God. That's who he is. And I can tell you from experience, he is. But only I don't want to argue that. Everyone can make up their own mind. Just like I think everyone could have free speech, everyone could have its free religion, like where I live in America, we have rights, God given rights. And that's one of them, to be able to choose and say whatever we want, to be able to arm ourselves, protect ourselves and our family. I mean, there's certain things we have, inalienable rights here, but they're being taken away. And Americans are seemingly okay with it. They're letting them do it. And they're doing it in like a little bit at a time over the years. Like, how do you eat an elephant, right? America, look at it as a big giant elephant. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, and that's how they're doing it. Pretty soon there's no elephant. Within reason, man. Yeah, I think you could if you want to, but if you do, you'll suffer the consequences. I think you could say whatever you want, even that, but you will suffer the consequences of what you do. I mean, grow up, right? That's not like a 3-year-old question or a 5-year-old question. I do believe in free speech, just what I just said. Say it. But whatever happens to you, happens. Your actions. That sounds like a little kid. Like, a little kid might do that, and then they'll get in trouble, put in a corner or something. In my case, I would have got my ass beat. But if you do something and somebody gets hurt because they're running, and that's on you. That's on you. And I say you should be able to say whatever you want. If you get somebody hurt by what you said, it's stupid. Common sense, man. Where's your common sense at? Well, you don't have that around where you come from? Jeez, I'm not going to argue 5-year-old bullshit, okay? That's 5-year-old bullshit to me. Common sense. Common sense. I think we lost that in the world too. Okay, well, I don't want to get off on that. And everyone can think whatever they want. I'm not telling anyone how to think. I'm not telling anyone what to say. I'm not drawing lines. I'm not making rules. Do what you want. Do what you want. So like I'm doing this little, I'm not aggressive, man. Just a little bit annoyed. This isn't, I didn't come on Saturday to have somebody trying to cause me to get irked up, like that question is totally aimed to do something. I'm not stupid. I wasn't born yesterday. I've been all over the world, man. All over the world. I know what it's like everywhere. And I kiss the ground when I get back to the United States because it's so good of a country, or at least it used to be. Still beautiful, but maybe the government ain't that great, and maybe the other countries are right when they say what they say about the United States, but it isn't the people. Just like where you come from, it isn't the people, it's your government too. Maybe your religious people, whatever. It isn't the people of the world. What I found traveling around the world is the people are good. Most people are good. It's really the ones in control and forcing issues, and those are the ones really that actually the people should deal with, and they don't. Like, they're not dealing with it here, and they're not dealing with it there. As soon as the people realize they outnumber these people and they could change it anytime they want, anywhere in the world, then, we're going to be stuck with these certain people pushing agendas and causing grief. And I'm saying, get ready. We're not in the end yet. In your country, any country, we're in for some big changes, and I have a feeling they're going to push another thing on us, like the last thing they pushed. I hear we might be facing that again. Hopefully everybody's not stupid enough to fall for it this time. And hopefully some of the countries that have a real tight grip on people don't force them to submit to it like some countries did. But anyways, I'll stop right there. So it looks like the shadow ban thing, and this is kind of along the lines of what we're talking about, you know, the powers that be, they censor you, and they've been censoring me. It looks like they lightened up though when I started hammering it and I started a new channel and I'm like talking about it and stuff. It seems they kind of lightened up on me, and I'm going to keep testing that though. I'm going to find out if that's the case or not. But what I thought I would do is, how many people every day carry like pocket knives or different blades, you know, different kinds of styles of knife? Does everybody every day carry that? I do. I everyday carry, and I thought we would talk about it. Plus, I'm going to do a giveaway. I already started drawing up a design for these certain knives. I'm going to give 2 knives away. I finally narrowed it down to 2, and I'll show you. Okay, this is the first one. It's of knives by any means, and I mean that kind of looks like a cool sheath, but it's really not. It's cheap. Like this is the sheath that they make, right? And this is the sheath I make. Like I didn't put any designs on it, even though I could. Okay, this is my sheath that I make. Can you see the difference? Real leather right here. Real leather. You see the difference? So what I'm going to do, yeah, I heard about that, Rick. I heard about that, you know. So you guys can't have any bang bangs, and you can't have any blades. Like, then they could do whatever they want with you, right? They could do whatever they want, and you can't stop them. You have no way of stopping them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to design a knife sheath, not this little rubbery whatever this is. I don't even know if it's real leather or not, whatever it is. But I'm gonna design one that's more, let me see, I got one over here. This is more like how I'm gonna do it, but only I'm not gonna have it around the handle. I'm gonna make it like this. And I'm going to, like, this is another one I made. And I mean, it's real big, nice, thick leather. But I'm going to put a design on it, and then I'm going to have it wrap around like this and snap like that on this knife. So it'll be about looking like this kind of design, but only with bigger leather and maybe something ornate on it. This is a basket weave on this one and double stitched. I don't know if I'll double stitch this one, but this is going to be the one. And on here it says, I don't know, I think everything's backwards. I haven't figured out how to make that, but it says M390, which is the steel. It's a good knife steel, even though this is made in China, I think. It doesn't say China on it, but it says 62 HRC, and HRC is the hardness on it, so it holds the edge longer. It's also a stainless, so it doesn't rust. So this is the one I'm going to give away here probably in about 2 months. And I'll never type giveaway on here. I learned a long time ago, when you type that, you get all kinds of spammer, scammer type things, you know, coming in and trying to win it. I want my people that follow me all the time to win. But I mean, if people come in and they're new, then, you know, I have no control, because I'm truly going to run it like a giveaway. But this is the one that's going to be next. I think I paid $45 for this knife, $45, and it was on sale. They run about $90 to $100, this actual knife right here. So that's my first giveaway that I'm going to do. And I wanted to show, so like my everyday carry, this is one I carry every day. I switch up. I also carry this one, and I made this one too. This one I laced, and I cut the lace out myself. You could tell I use it all the time. This is a Damascus. It was given to me by a guy that I make sheaths for. And this one I didn't finish. I didn't put a design. All I did was put some leather conditioner and oil it with some neat's foot oil. This is one of my everyday carries, and I carry this one a lot, and I carry this one a lot. So these two are my everyday carries that I carry. And then also in my pocket, you know, I'll carry that on my belt, and then in my pocket I have one of my favorites. It's a Spyderco, and it's sharp. Oh my gosh, it holds a blade. I think it's a G10 steel. Let's see, it says on here G10 steel. But Spydercos, you can't beat a little Spyderco, but it's so light you can't even tell it's in your pocket. I mean, this is my everyday carry. And then you have the CRKT, and this one's kind of weird. It has a double locking system. So you have the liner lock right here in there, and then you have this other lock. So you can't push this lock and move the blade, and you can't use the other lock. You have to actually push it at the same time, the two locks. And I kind of like that. I know it's like a hassle, but when you have little kids around, you want something like that. But I carry this one because you see how that came out? Just the sound of it probably will scare somebody. And this is my other one, and I swap between this one and this one in my pocket. So I'll have either the other ones of those other two fixed blades, and then I'll have one of these in my pocket usually. So I have two knives on me at any time. And then this one, this is one that when I go out in the woods, I carry this one. This is the Ontario. This was given to me by Ghost Wolf on here. These two pocket knives are given to me by BZ. But this one was Ghost Wolf a few years ago. We went squatching and he gave me this knife, and it's Ontario, and it's nice, but it's really nice it's thin, you know, in here, and it's great for like slicing potatoes and meat, and when you're camping and stuff like that, it's a great blade for that. And it's a spear point, and it stays sharp. But I built the case for it. I kind of screwed up a little bit. I decided at the last minute I was going to double stitch, and I got a little close to the edge on this stitch. All I did was super glue it. And it doesn't matter because it has the original stitch. That's where it was going to be, right there, the original stitch. And then at the last minute, I'm like, man, it would look cool with two stitches. So I ran another line, but it was kind of close, you know. I probably shouldn't have done it, but I thought I never did that before. I wanted to see what it looked like. But then I have another blade. This one's a Elk Ridge Edge Right, I think, a Edge Right. And I'm going to give this one away too. I think this is a $30 knife. And I'm probably going to have the same sheath, but this sheath, again, it's like this really thin leather. It's made kind of like, I don't trust that. That's stitching. That shouldn't even move like that. But I think it's because they put this in the middle of it, and it doesn't hold good. It's not letting the, and this is really important. You don't want this to break when you're carrying it, because when it flies off, this whole piece with your knife flies off, and then this part will be hanging on your belt, and this part will be gone with the knife in it. And you might not know. You might scrape it off on a bush or a rock or something and not even realize you lost your knife. So you don't want play like that. Like, it feels like it's ready to fall off already. It wouldn't take much. But then you look at how I do it. There's no play at all. None. And it's so much thicker. Like, look at this. It's so much thicker. What I make is so much thicker, in real leather. Double saddle stitch. This is done with a sewing machine. That means if one stitch breaks, it can unravel on you and fall off. So like, say you hit that on a rock and it rubs one of the stitches off, that right there will fall off. It'll just unravel. Like, you've ever had a shirt unravel or a piece of clothing and it'll unravel like that out? This won't do that. It is locked. It goes through like this, and then I pull it tight, and then I go through like this and I pull it tight. It will never, even if a stitch or two or three or five breaks, this one won't fall off. And that's what I'm going to make. And then, so after I give away this knife, then the next month I'm going to give away this knife, because I love you guys, and I want to give something to you guys. You stuck with me for now. I started this. Not right now. No. Thank you though. You guys, I started this channel July 2012, and I didn't do anything with it for. I did a little bit. I was mostly working with Jeff on Paranormal Central, but I started this channel then when Jeff and I kind of, even while we were working together, I would load videos onto it, some of our shows, and I think that's why they were kind of shadow banning me a little bit, or a lot, or mostly, because of what we talk about, and so, but you guys have been there through thick and thin. So this knife, the only thing I don't like about this knife, the handle is light. Like, this brass isn't very heavy, and it feels like the blade is heavy and this part's light. So it kind of, but I mean, it's a $39 knife, something like that. And then the other thing it says is Pakistan. Even though it was bought in America, it says Pakistan. It's still good quality. It's sharp as can be. I think it'll hold the edge pretty good. It's stainless steel. It won't rust. It's got it's pretty nice, well built looking knife. I think it's supposed to be, I think this one is modeled after the Buck 119, and that is my other, Buck 119, that's my other everyday carry. I don't carry it every day, but I carry it regular. I'll have this one. I haven't made a sheath for it yet, but the Buck 119, that's my other everyday carry, and I think that blade is mimic and in the size and everything, because I'll show you what I mean here. And I know you guys probably aren't even interested in all this, but this is the one I'm going to give away. This is the Buck 119. You see the resemblance, right? They're modeled, fashioned this one after this one. This is iconic knife for 100 years. Everybody has one, or almost anybody that likes knives will carry the Buck 119. But yeah, you can tell they modeled it after that. So this is going to be the giveaway one. And I mean, you can tell the difference. Like, this blade feels actually heavier than the Buck. Even though the Buck looks wider, this one feels, the steel feels heavier than this one. This one's more balanced, you know. Dunder King, hey, custom holsters. See, Kydex. Wow, cool, man. Yeah, so the idea on this one, why my son gave me this one, it's a new one, it's not old. But I was talking about building a knife sheaths, custom sheaths for the Bucks, because everybody has a Buck, or a lot of people have Bucks, like especially this one. This is one of the most popular Buck knives in the world, but only, again, I mean, it's made out of good leather. I mean, this is real leather compared to the other ones, but it does one thing. You hear that? When you're walking around and you're hunting, that's doing that. And this is one of the ones you're going to be in the woods. Now, if you're a hunter and you're stalking something, you don't want that. Absolutely don't want that. It only takes one for a deer or a bear or whatever you're hunting. They'll hear it because you're trying to be quiet, and then all of a sudden you take one step and it goes. And every time you step. So the idea was, when I learned that it was like that, that's when I decided that I'm going to make sheaths for it. And now it'll probably be more along the line of this style where it wraps around like that, but it will not rattle. See, this one fits like a glove. And it pops in. But the idea is to make some custom knife sheaths. Like, I just bought this. I'll show you. I just bought this. I got this for, I think I got this for $30. Hey, Cold Warrior. My wife just offered me eggs and potatoes for breakfast, but I know that she'll make it and then I'll have to cut my video short, so I said no. But I just bought this. I found it on OfferUp. And it's a Buck 110. And what's really cool about it, and it's the same idea. I want to build knife sheaths for the Buck 110, because that is the Bucks. Everybody, a lot of people, they're like, real popular. So a lot of people have them. This is a commemorative, and it's a 2005 Buck. I mean, it looks like brand new. And it has the state of Idaho on it. That's how you know it's a 2005. Right there, that's the state of Idaho. But the same thing, I'm gonna make pancake style sheaths and all the different kinds of style sheaths that you can make. Different cants, you know, like carry it forward or carry it, like the different styles of carry. So it would be carried like that on you. So when you pull it out, it would open. But like, have it carry this way, have it carry this way, have it carry that way. That way, like, and then even maybe this way where it leans forward on your hip so that you can grab it and come out with it like that. And you come out and have it like that. So, but I just bought this. Same reason. The two most popular knives that Buck makes is this. It has no sheath. It doesn't rattle. Yeah. Well, do you have a sheath for it? Did somebody make you a sheath, or do you know, like, it doesn't rattle if it doesn't have a sheath. It goes in your pocket, right? But the Buck 110, it's kind of heavy to be putting in your pocket. That's the thing about the Buck. And a lot of people, like, they're more into the more like knives like this. You know, the flippers, you can one-hand it, except you can't close this. So I guess you can close it. You can close it with one hand. It's kind of hard because of that double lock. But a lot of times you can go like that and bump it, and you can close it with one hand, and you can flip it open with one hand. On the Buck 110, until it breaks in, and I've seen, you know, back in the 70s, the early 70s, I'm saying how old I am, I guess, but hopefully I've been following his stuff. In fact, somebody told me to look into mountain giants or forest giants, a video of forest giants. Yeah, for sure. That he does some interesting stuff out there. Like, he found that it's like he's looking for treasure, and he reads things that I would love to hang out with that guy. I'm pretty good in the woods of tracking and stuff like that, but I don't know about, mountain giants. Did you see that, guys, where he videotaped that Bigfoot that was there? It looked like it had like a bald spot on its head. It looked like something was wrong with it, but it was pretty huge. And there had to be something wrong with that Bigfoot for him to be able to walk up on it like that. Like, I've been doing Bigfoot I don't call it research, but my own search for Bigfoot since 1987. The only time I ever surprised one was the very first day I saw it. And the reason I know why, that it didn't hide, and it was out in the open, and I watched it for an hour and 45 minutes, but I know why. Where we were parked, me and my buddy, we were parked at a trailhead where if you get on the trail and you go over the Sierras to Nevada, and it was a popular trail that all summer long people would hike back and forth from Nevada to California to Nevada. It takes about 2 weeks to hike that over the Sierras into the other state or back. And any given time at that trailhead, all summer long, there's between 5 and 10 cars parked out there with nobody in them. And I'm pretty sure, 100% sure, I would bet money on it, that when we were there right after the hiking season was over, and it was deer season, and that was about the time they changed the time on hunting deer, and they moved it more out of the rut. Okay, so the rut was around the end of October, November, and they moved it to about where they go into rut. And see, when the rut hits, that's the easiest time to get a buck, because they get stupid. Like any male, they will chase it, if you know what I'm saying, and they will take chances to get that. And by them moving the timing of hunting out of the rut more early, like more into the summer, it made it where we couldn't get a deer that easy. Yeah, wow, that would be kind of a trip. Wow, really? See, there's a lot of deer around here, but when it isn't the rut, the bucks don't come down. Like they stay way up, high up in the high elevations, and you only see the little young ones running around, and they're probably better meat, but there's nothing wrong with the older buck. It's actually better to get some of the older ones, and that way some of the younger ones have a chance to develop and get bigger and make their genetics better, you know, like. But when we parked right there, our idea was to go, we were parked right at the edge of the tree line at that trailhead that goes over the Sierras, where all summer long, from spring until just maybe 2 weeks before we parked there was cars parked there all the time. Trucks, vans, pickups, cars. And we parked right there. We got there about between 3 and 3:30 in the morning. And we were going to make about a 1.5 2-mile hike over the ridge where this thing was coming down. He was coming from where we were heading, and we were faced that way, looking up the ridge, and he was coming down the ridge towards us. And I think he thought there was nobody in the car because we didn't have any lights on. We had a cab over camper meeting. The dude can't miss that we were parked there. Even we could see him all the way at the top of the ridge. Right on, man. Sorry we don't agree, but we could agree to disagree and we can still be friends. I am not opposed to that. So this thing knew we were parked there in a cab over camper, a huge one. We could see him, so I know he could see us. But we weren't in the camper, we were in the cab. It was dark. We didn't have any lights on. We were trying to be quiet. We didn't want to spook any deer or any animals. We didn't want. In fact, the plan was to, like an hour and a half before light. We were there about 2 hours before light, maybe 2.5 hours before light. So around an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes before light, before shooting time, we were going to go over the ridge and then find a good place to sit down, and then sit there and see if we see any of these big bucks that we know are over there, where there's no hunting pressure because nobody's going to hike over there. Well, that Bigfoot was coming down from there, and he came over. I didn't see him come over the ridge. All I seen was this bush moving around, and I thought, like he was shaking the bush. It was violently shaking. I don't know what he was doing in there. I thought it was a bear. I mean, what I saw was the silhouette of a back and a butt. I thought for sure that was a bear. And I had a bear tag. The first time I ever drew in over here, I don't know how it is everywhere else, but over here you have to put in for a drawing for does and bear and elk. You just don't go buy a tag for it. You put in for a drawing, and if they draw your name, then you get a tag. I'd been putting in for a bear ever since I was like 14 years old, and I'm 27 at this point. And I got a bear tag. Finally, I've had friends get the bear tags, but I never got a bear tag, and I was jazzed, man. I had got a 300 Weatherby Magnum just for elk and bear, and not really because I think that I can't kill them with a 30-06 or a 270. It's because a lot of times you're going to be pretty far away, like 400 yards. Now I might not be able to kill it with a 270. I mean, bullet placement would be everything when it's that far. But with a 300 Weatherby, I can reach out and touch somebody at 1,000 yards, and it was so accurate. Probably at 600 yards, I could cover up 5 shots with a quarter on a cold barrel. I know a lot of people don't know what I'm talking about. I'm probably speaking Japanese or Chinese or whatever, but I sight my rifles in at 150 yards dead on a cold barrel, and I load my own rounds, so I'm highly accurate, right? And the idea behind sighting them in at 150 yards is at I sight them in. No, I sight them in an inch high at 150 yards. I would sight them in an inch high at 150 yards. It would be dead on at 300 yards. So the curve of the bullet, right? So it would go up an inch and down an inch. So at 300 yards, I could put the crosshairs right where I want that bullet. And at 300 yards, it would be dead on. But I could pretty much, at 400 yards, just raise it a little teeny bit, right? Maybe an inch. And I'm going to still hit the heart no matter what. As long as I have the right angle, I'm going to get a kill shot. There's no doubt that I mean, over and over and over again, I fill my freezer, if you know what I'm saying. So there's no doubt about that. But I had a 300 Weatherby Magnum Mark V Deluxe. Cost just the rifle back in the early 80s. It was $1,250 back then, right? And I put an $800 scope on it. And I think it was a 6x18 with a rangefinder in it. So it had, as you zoom it in and out, it had these two little reticules, I think that's what they call them. So it was like this, and then it had one more on top. And as you zoomed in and out, you put, like, say this is the animal you're going to shoot. Whoops. Say this is the animal you're going to shoot, right? Well, as you move it in and out, like that, when you got it where it was like framing it like that, it would tell you exact yardage and how far it was. Then you only had to figure out the windage, and you're golden with that thing out to 1,000 yards. And I know a lot of people, they're like, what, dude, that's too much information. But hey, if you're into it like I was into it all my life, I mean, my dad was into it, my uncle, there were sheriffs, right? Guns were I grew up with guns everywhere and reloading and you name it, man. I mean, my dad was like a quick draw, a champion quick draw guy. He could shoot, like with his hand 6 inches away from his pistol. You just say go, and he could have it out, cocked and fired in 0.3 of a second. I have some stuff in here where he won, and they timed him. You know, they would hit a buzzer, and he would draw and shoot this balloon that was probably like 50 feet away, and it was 0.3 of a second was how fast. You know, amazing. And he also was able to, like, we'd be at the range sighting stuff in, and he would somebody would say, shoot that bird out there, and there'd be a bird like 400 yards away, like a little blackbird sitting on a fence post, and he would just draw, and it was a single action, so he would rake it, and he would shoot a bird 400 yards away with a pistol without aiming, like the cowboys. And man, you know, I watch him make so much money. People would bet that he couldn't do it. And he would just rake in the money like, you can't do that again. And he would do it again and again. I mean, it was crazy. Hey, Eugenio, how's it going? Yeah, rip to the bird. Well, I mean, we would, like, when he really wanted to make the money, him and my uncle would set cans up with soda in them, full soda cans. And they would set them up way out there, like 300 yards out there. It would be like at the end of the range, shooting range, right? It only went like 300 yards. And we were sighting everything in at 150 yards, like halfway out. But we had these cans way out there, and my dad would, all day long, my uncle would be like, I bet you he could shoot that can from right here without aiming. They're like, you're on. He's like, $20. Like, you're on. There's no way he can. Not without aiming. Like hey, I would say my dad's name, shoot that can over there. And my dad would look at it, look at him, and then go, boom, and then put it back in his holster, and then go, blow the can up, right? I was like, what? No way, you can't do that. There was another thing he would do, and I watched him tear his thumb up right here. Like, I mean, rip it apart. He would carry Band-Aids when we went to the range, because he would rake, he would tell you, put your hands apart like this, and when you're ready, don't say 1, 2, 3, go, don't say anything. When you're ready, go like that. Just go like that. You have your hands this far out. When you're ready, clap. Every time, I never seen him miss. The people would be like, and they would clap their hands on the gun. It would be cocked and in their face, and they would clap on the gun every single time. I watch him make $600 in a weekend from these guys saying, and some guys would do it like 10 times, 20 bucks a pop, because there's no way they could clap their hands and he would have that gun in it. They knew that it was not possible. Man, he freaking rake it. I can't do it. But when I was a little bitty kid, I would lay on his bed, and he had a vanity with a big mirror, you know, in their room. And he would have his quick draw stuff on, and he would spend hours drawing in the mirror at himself. I mean, hours, days. And I used to watch him. I would lay there and watch him, and it was fascinating to me, because he would hold his hand about that far away from his gun, and he would grab it, rake it with this part, so that would cock it, because it's single action, and would come out with it, and bam, right? Bam! He could even do the flippity doodads, like if he had two, I don't know what, I can't remember what they call it, but he could even spin the guns like on the cowboy westerns, throw them up, and they would cross and come back down and land in the holsters, catch them in the holsters. Two guns, he would come out with them, like, amazing, right? Amazing. I wish I would have learned that. I wish I would have learned that. That's something that I kick myself, that I didn't learn how to do that. I mean, I had all the opportunity. I probably still could, but I'm old now, and he passed away at age 48, you know. Hey, Dunder Craig. Yeah, you know, I'm just Saturday chat. I'm just talking about stuff, right? I wanted to show my everyday carry, my pocket. I didn't have it in my pockets, but kind of wanted to do a pocket thing, you know, what do you carry every day? So I did that, and I've seen other videos where people do that, and I find it interesting. I don't know about everybody else, but then after that, it's just stuff. Like, I find that interesting. I love firearms and weapons, and like I should probably tell you guys my thing, right? I should tell you my thing, what I'm famous for around here, especially in law enforcement, is the baton, like the PR-24 and the straight baton, and self-defense with that, like takedowns, handcuffing technique, which bones to break, how to break them, how to defend yourself with it, how to pass it back and forth. Like if, say, somebody shoots your good arm, and then practice with my other arm and be able to pass it from one to the other like my dad does with the guns, right? I could flip that and pass it back and forth on each hand. And usually, like when I was in a situation where you can't really pull your weapon, but you can use your baton, I could actually stop the situation just by showing off with my baton, like Bruce Lee or something, right? And it would be going so fast you can't see it. And then I would do that. I would put a little out of the ring and pass it back and forth into my right hand, and then get myself set and say, come on, right? You want to do this? And normally they would say, we're good. Like, what do you want us to do? Like, get on the ground. face down, put your hands behind your back, you know. But then there was other things, like I taught for 9 years at this, they called it a security academy. So after I left the law enforcement field, my uncle started this academy, and what it was people that got hurt doing construction or other types of jobs. Their insurance, the company's insurance that they had, they want to retrain them to put them back in the workforce. But a lot of times they couldn't go back into, they couldn't do anything real physical, but they could do security guard. They could work for the IRS. You know, there's different kinds of security, and it's where and so I taught the handgun, all the different things, and would get them their card to carry their handgun, a baton, mace, and gas training techniques, takedown techniques, self-defense techniques, courtroom procedures, sometimes like how the laws between police officer and a security officer, and what the difference is, and what you can do and not do that a cop can do, and your limitations on how far that limitation is. And I taught that for 9 years, and that's what I'm known for, or I was for a long time. I was known that, and a dead-eye shot with a rifle, and I'm pretty good with a pistol, but nothing like my dad, right? Nothing like him, but not too shabby, you know. Offhand, I could shoot pretty darn good. But yeah, that's what I was known for the longest time. But law enforcement wasn't for me, man. I mean, at first, I was addicted to the adrenaline of it. And I mean, there's nothing like adrenaline. That is such a drug. Oh my God, you know, like you can get addicted to that, to where you actually are wanting that. When you go on duty, you're hoping something happens so that you get that rush. And a lot of times after a year or so, all you have to hear is your number come up on the radio, like your badge number. That's how they identify you. They don't say your name, they say your number. And it come up on the radio, and instantly you get that rush of adrenaline that you're being called to somewhere dangerous, you know. And it's a rush, you know. But that said, sometimes that danger, when you get there, is so out of control, or you don't have control yet, and it's totally dangerous, and they may have the drop on you when you get there. And like, that's part of the adrenaline rush. But it also, like, when you face down somebody that has the drop on you, and they're aiming a gun at you, especially a revolver or something like that, and you can see the bullets in the chamber aiming at you, right? And you could see those, and you know that if they pull the trigger, you're a goner. And if you reach for your gun or your weapon, you're a goner. And that happened to me 2 times in 1 week. And that's when I made up my mind. Like, I have 3 little kids at home and a beautiful wife, and I want to live to see them grow up. And the gang thing was starting to happen, and there was young kids with guns, and I was more afraid of a young kid with a gun than I was an adult, because the adults have a little bit of common sense, and they know what they're doing, you know, and they don't really want to kill you, right? They just want your money, or they want out of the situation. If you give them a way out, they'll leave. A kid isn't like that. They don't have any concept of what they're doing, and they may kill you and then learn by what they just did that, you know, the consequence really happens. And so, I mean, like, when you face down a 12-year-old with a 357, and the kid's 6 feet away, I mean, he's not going to miss. You know, he's aiming at you and smiling. Like, that was the last one for me, man. It was like, I'm out of here. I mean, I liked it. I liked the money. I liked the adrenaline, but I didn't like the idea of the odds, right? The odds are going to catch me. And I know some officers that they're not here today. I mean, it's rare, real rare, but I don't want to be, the odds are, you know, like if you go there enough times, you're going to hit a jackpot and you're going to cash out, right? Right then, you're going to cash out. So, I mean, that was my mind is, you know what? I'm not going to cash out, not today. You know, I'm going to get in something a little more safer, where the odds are I'll live to see another day. Even if I get into a little hard place, you know, I'll still make it. The odds are I'm not going to cash out, you know. So yeah, that's my history on that. And a lot of people don't know that because that was 100 years ago, you know. I have a lot of stuff that happened between. In fact, I parlayed with my income of the law enforcement, which is good. I bought the very first video camera, the first like VHS video camera, and I was yeah. Hey, it's dangerous now for every breed. It really is. I'm kind of glad I have all the training I have, because I'm not afraid. But then I don't carry a bang bang with me all the time, but I always have some kind of blade on me, at least two, right? At least two. In fact, I was reading an article like day before yesterday where this guy got robbed with his own gun. The guy took his gun from him and robbed him. And then he shot the guy with his second gun. Right? So like the guy got his gun and robbed him, and then as he was leaving, he pulled out his second gun and he shot him. So the guy didn't get away, you know, and he still shot the guy. So I thought that was brilliant. Like, what? That was cool. That was pretty cool. Like, yeah, get him with the second one, you know. But it was probably close for him. Like, he probably thought he was going to eat it. Otherwise, if I had two guns, somebody got my gun and robbed me, I would probably let him go. I wouldn't shoot him. If my life wasn't being threatened right at that moment, I wouldn't have shot him in the back. But hey, he took your gun. He could go kill somebody else, right? So you have to think like that sometimes. And yeah, but I bought this video camera, and we were raising foster kids and our own kids, and we started I wanted to do birthday parties for, you know, jeez, that guy's crazy maniac. I'm telling you, I used to teach people, you know, I was instructing this stuff, and there with them, like sometimes I would, like for part-time money, I would work around Christmas time at the malls, different places as security, and it was a great way to earn Christmas day job, and then at night work all night as security and pretty much sleep. But I would work with these other security guards that I trained, and some of them like one of them was he was an army guy, the ones that jump out of the planes, right? And they were over South America somewhere, and they were supposed to jump. They jumped, and they were supposed to be dropped into a river. And the idea is when you paratroop in, and they were all dropped over what the pilot said was a river, and it had rained, and it was a dirt road. They didn't know. So what they do is they start releasing the parachute like 20 feet above the water, and then they drop into the water. It wasn't water. It was a dirt road. So he was one of the first ones that was coming down, and he released and broke both legs when he went down. There's he said 3 or 4 of them that broke and then they started yelling, it's not a river, it's not a river, you know, and everybody else landed safely. But the first few guys, they broke their legs, and that's how he got out, right? That he got out because he had 2 broken legs. He couldn't do it anymore. I can't remember what to call that, but he was an adrenaline junkie, but a security guard adrenaline junkie. But what I noticed was, like, I noticed when we were working at this mall during Christmas time, because they beef up the security in the malls during Christmas time. So I got hired to, you know, every year I would work this mall. In fact, I worked right after I left full-time law enforcement. I worked at the mall for like 4 years while I was transitioning to find something else to do, you know, because security was like an easy one. But I knew everybody over there, and I could go and work there during Christmas time, and they would immediately pick me up, you know. And we were working there, and this one guy, he was a full-timer at the mall, but over there's a lot of gangs and shoplifters and all kinds of stuff. And sometimes there would be trouble. There would be somebody that was like going to rape somebody, or they were trying to rob them. Like after the mall hours, people would be using their little bags of money a lot and drop it in the bank. And I taught that class to these people too. Like, you don't fight over the money. It's not yours anyways. It's the store's money, but you don't fight over it. You throw it as far as you can throw it, because they're not after you, they're after the money. So if you throw the money, they're going to go after that, and you could get away and you're safe, right? But sometimes, you know, there would be trouble or whatever. Like, sometimes there would be jealous husbands. They would catch their wife with some other man in the mall, you know, like there's weird stuff happening all the time. And I would have to call for backup. Like, hey, I need some help over here. You know, there's like a little more than I can handle. And you call for backup. And usually that guy was my backup. He wouldn't show up. And I would finally get the situation under control. And then right as everything was under control, you give a call telling the dispatcher that you have it under control, right? And there's a 10 code for it. I can't remember what it is right now. But right after I do the 10 code, this dude would show up, and he's, where is he? You know, where'd that guy go? You know? And at first I thought he came from a long ways and he just barely showed up. But after a little while, I started realizing this guy wasn't going to show up, right? He was just only showing up and acting like the tough guy after everything was like done. It was like I didn't even call for, when that guy was on, I never called for backup again, unless there was other guys. Otherwise, I pretty much would just be Bruce Lee with the baton and just scare the shit out of everybody, you know, and make them think that I could, and I probably could hold off 50 people with a baton. No, but you know, you don't want to, you know what I mean? You don't want to do that, because the odds again, right? There's odds. You know, that leads into what I did as a career later. I worked in the casino, marketing director. I know all about odds. And a lot of it is because of my life, thinking of the odds if I'm going to die, get hurt, or something like that. You know, I was already thinking odds, you know. But yeah, so I bought to take videos of my kids growing up. That was the intention. And then it would come over, and they would be at and friends, they would be at the birthday party, and then I would show the video later about what we did, you know, and I would give them copies of it if they had a VCR. A lot of people didn't have one. They're real expensive. I think the camera was like $1,500, and then I had to buy a portable tape deck and batteries and the whole thing. I mean, it was all wired, not like today at all. But they didn't even have the one that had the VCR tape inside the camera yet, right? They didn't have that. But I started showing everybody, and then people started asking me, can I do their birthday parties? And I was like, yeah, I never thought about that. And I didn't even know what to charge. So I kind of fumbled my way through that. And I started doing that. And then somebody had a wedding. They're like, hey, can you videotape my wedding? It was like everything was filmed back then. And people did it, but it was expensive. But I could go out there and I could pop the tape out and give it to them right when I'm done, right? I mean, I wouldn't edit or anything. I just give them the master copy. Just, there you go. And then, some friends had businesses. They're like, can you make a commercial? I'm like, yeah, but the quality's not there compared to what the TV stations are using to make commercials, And so I started looking into different cameras and tape decks and tape and 3-tube camera, color cameras, better quality. And I started buying those. And before you knew it, I was in business, doing it in my own production company. And I only did it part-time. And then one thing led to another, and I had a complete studio set up with 3 what they call Plumicon cameras. And if you remember watching TV when you're a kid and or the Tonight Show or whatever, and they had those big cameras, right? And they were on dollies and they could move them around. The guy had a headset on. I had 3 of those. They were 150,000 each. I had 3 of those. I had 2 what they call electronic news gathering cameras, ENGs. One was 10,000 and one was 25,000. And the tape decks. Hi, Gladys. And then I traveled around with the camera. I got hired to do documentaries and different things, just hired to be the camera guy. And that led me to the most fun I ever had in my life. I travel all over with a camera, and I probably got myself in more dangerous situations with a camera, because when you get in other countries, especially the third world countries, and you're packing a camera, you're a target, right? And it's like a beacon. Like, hey, look at me, come and get me, mess with me. I probably got money and everything, right? And then definitely have expensive equipment on me. So, I got jacked with, usually by the cops of the country or the soldiers, and I had to buy them off. It's sad to say, but I carried money for me in my right pocket, and I carried money to buy off the cops in my left pocket. And I had to carry quite a bit in my left pocket to buy my way out of trouble. And sometimes I didn't even get out of trouble. I wound up getting my equipment taken, and then had to go to the police station or the military office and try to get my stuff back, try to buy it back. At one point in, I think it was Nigeria, I'm pretty sure it was Nigeria, at the airport, they took my stuff immediately. Like, they said I can't come in the country with it, and they took it. And then I went, I found my way to where they had the equipment, and I was talking to them and everything, trying to negotiate, to get my equipment. And then they said, well, okay, so we're gonna, we have to take your equipment because we think it's a bomb, and we're gonna look and make sure it's not a bomb. And then they took it apart, and we can put it back together. They couldn't put it back together. Wound up losing that stuff completely. I had it, but it didn't work, Okay, I won't talk about Africa. I'll save that for another day, because I could talk about all the different third world countries. It's fun. Like, if you're an adrenaline junkie, travel around the world with a camera. You'll have some fun, I'm gonna tell you right now. Yeah, but then I'll have nothing left on the next time. But I probably would. I have a ton of stories. Like, I have a lot of Bigfoot stories, that experiences with Bigfoot. People have no idea I mean, Jeff and I would talk about them on the Paranormal Central. Hey, Phoenix, what's up, man? What's up, AC? The Euphrates River, yeah. We're at the end, you know. I'm not good with Swahili, but I'm pretty good with Chui. I got pretty good with Chui. I know a little bit of Chui. I know a little bit of Spanish. I know a little bit of Chinese, Mandarin, a little bit of everything, right? You can say hello, goodbye, thank you, please, stuff like that, right? What's your name? Things like that. You know? And I would say it like so convincing that they would start talking to me, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit. You know? I mean, I'm good at saying these few words, and I could cuss somebody out in a couple of different languages, you know, but that's all I know. I'm not that great at it, you know. So how's my audio been through this whole thing? I'm wondering, because I had a lot of trouble with my audio on the last video, and I know I shouldn't, because these are very good microphones that have not had 1 inch of problems. But yeah, so great, man, that is great. So okay, I want to knife from my next giveaway knife from it. I got to call it here. I can hear the door. My wife keeps on looking out at me. She's concerned because I didn't eat anything, and I drink a lot of coffee. Probably why I'm talking like a million miles a minute, right? I drank 2 big old huge cups of coffee, and I like it strong. I made it myself. This one, I'm going to start making a sheath for this today. Okay? The bread store, you got me. I don't know. But I'm going to make this one. This is going to be my first giveaway to you guys. Okay? It's an M390. And I know it's backwards. Put it in a mirror and you can see it, but it's an M390. It's a HRC. It says 65. That's pretty hard. That means it will hold the edge for a long time, but it's stainless steel. It won't rust. I'm not sure what that is right there. It feels good. Wood handles. Made in Pakistan. No, this one's made in China, even though it doesn't say China. Drops out for 3 seconds every once in a while. It shouldn't do that. I think somebody's messing with me because I have like the best shit. I got a $1,300 phone and a $400 wireless microphone system. It could be my internet connection. I got a gigabyte of speed and it's only 10 feet from me. The Wi-Fi's got 1 wall, right? Next time I'm going to try using the cell phone signal because it's actually faster than my Wi-Fi. Okay, so this is going to be my giveaway. Okay, I get it. Well, not that many, but my wife's on it, my 2 sisters, my mom, my daughter, my granddaughter, my grandson. So was that like almost 10, plus me doing probably the biggest bandwidth steal of all, right? Uploading a video. So yeah, the dude stealing it from next door and the guy from across the street stealing it, right? That hacked me. But this is the giveaway. I'm going to make a knife sheath for it. I'm not going to type giveaway in it. I'm not going to type giveaway. On the day I give it away, I'll let everybody know in a video or 2 before the giveaway so that you guys all know to be there. And I'm going to give it away, figure out a way to give it away. And whoever's in the chat will get it. I'm not going to give it away where if they're not in the video, they're not going to get it. So the chances of you getting a knife are going to be really big. Remember, odds. I know odds. And right now, what, 15 of you in here. And I'm going to have a couple of other things to give away. I'm not even going to say what those are, okay? Got a couple of little surprises. I'll just say custom handmade leather items that I'm going to also be giving away. something that's more for men and women for your house, right? Things you could use at your house. That's all I'm going to say. Some of them are already made, but they're going to be giveaways with the knife. That way, a few people win. That was something I didn't agree with casinos. Hey, Della, how are you? Yeah, right before you go to bed. Hey, oh well, good night. I hope everything's going good. I pray for you guys all the time. Okay, but like on the giveaways, I'm not going to tell anyone. I'm not going to type it in a title. Okay, I'm not going to type it. And I'm letting you know I'm going to have one or with several things, prizes. And I learned at the casino, I never liked that I would give away $100,000 and only one person won out of the thousands that were trying for it. I like it. That's why when I was at the casino, I would have one grand prize, and then all night during the giveaway night, before I gave it away, I would use the player club card. They would put it in the machine, and I would call people out all night long and give away stuff. I heard that. It is, it is. Messed up right now. But it's about to change. I don't know what that looks like, but I know it's about to change. Man, really, huh? I have one of those flute. I still mess with it too. That's like the best gift in the whole world, huh? I love handmade things. Well, you see, like I would love to get you a hand in your hands, like if you have a knife that you want a custom sheath for that needs one, let me know in an email. And you can get a hold of me at Alan T. Gamer. No, Alan 59 Thomas. That's it. Alan 59 Thomas at gmail.com. So you guys ever want to get a hold of me, Alan 59 Thomas at gmail.com, and the Allen is ALLEN. Good evening. So if you ever want to thank you, sir, want to get a hold of me, and you want, mine hangs on the wall right by my bed, and I can just grab it off anytime, and it sounds beautiful. I play it for the Bigfoots. I do. A lot of people don't know that. I don't videotape it because I'm terrible at it. Bigfoots probably want to hit me with it, but I still do. I love playing it in the woods. And maybe they like it. I don't know. But if you ever want anything custom and you're one of my long-time viewers, get a hold of me in the email and I will make something for you. Alan59 Thomas, Alan ALLEN 59 THOMAS. I think you can it's on my YouTube channel there, where about or something like that, or links. I have that, so you could find it there too. But get a hold of me, because my longtime people that have been so generous to me and watched me and put up with all the bullshit that over the years, I really want to do something for you. And I know it's not a ton of people, right? I'm looking at 13 right now. That isn't a lot. But you guys are my core. I love you guys so much. You have no idea. I pray for you all the time. But anyways, do that. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm going to probably do something on the Allen-177 channel tomorrow. So if you want to see that, you could tune in, because I'm going to run them concurrent, because I'm trying to figure out if they're shadow banning me or not. And since I've been saying shadow banning, they've kind of unshadow banned me on this channel. So I'm going to keep on experimenting and see if they did or not. Because I haven't, they're messing with me hard, and I know they are. And I'm trying to figure out how to get around it. Probably just go to Rumble, right? But that's what everybody tells me. But you guys, I love you all. You have a great weekend, and I will see you probably tomorrow on the other channel. I'll see you pretty soon on this one. You guys have a good one. Here I am all shaky.